All right, hey everyone, welcome in
Yeah, welcome.
to another deep dive.
That's right.
We're tackling another critical topic today for those of you who are really focused on staying on top of, well, everything that's happening, right? In India's economic and technological landscape, I think today's topic is going to be especially relevant for those of you out there who are preparing for those UPSC exams.
Yeah, absolutely. Big stuff happening.
We're cutting through the clutter today, folks.
It's right to the chase.
We are zeroing in on a new policy, a big new policy, actually.
Good policy.
In the Indian electronics sector.
Very much so. And I think if you're interested in India's journey toward, greater self-reliance and its push for, stronger technological advancement.
Yeah.
This is a big development that you want to know about.
This is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So specifically, we are diving deep into the recently finalized 22,919 crore rupee.
That's a lot.
Incentive policy for boosting electronics components manufacturing right here in India.
All here, yeah.
All here, yeah.
Yeah.
So just to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of our source material today, we're primarily drawing from a really in-depth report from the Indian Express.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Always is.
Now, many of you have been following the success of localizing smartphone assembly here in India.
Oh yeah, that's been a big story.
And this new policy is really like the next step in that strategy.
The next phase.
The next phase.
Yeah.
It's really aiming to achieve a much deeper level of domestic value addition.
Much deeper.
Across the board in the electronics manufacturing sector.
Think about it this way. We're going beyond just assembling the finished product, right?
Yeah.
Now we're talking about actually making the core components right here.
Right here.
So it's a big step in terms of, really having more control over the whole process.
Taking ownership, right? Of
like
the whole
ownership,
ecosystem. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good way to put it.
So our mission today in this deep dive is to really understand why this particular policy has been put in place, what was the thinking behind it, what are its key components, what are the objectives that it's trying to hit, and ultimately to sort of look forward and try to figure out, well, what could be the impact?
What's the potential of
this on India's overall ambition to become a real global electronics manufacturer?
Powerhouse. That's the word.
Powerhouse.
That's the word.
Yeah. So let's just start with the basics, right? Like, what is the state?
Lay of the land.
Lay of the land. What is the current state of electronics components?
Yeah, exactly. Manufacturing in India that sort of necessitates this, this kind of big policy push from the government.
Right. Well, I think it's important to start by saying that it is a sector that's already showing some impressive growth.
Okay.
As of March 2023, India's electronic components manufacturing sector was valued at a pretty healthy $101 billion.
Okay.
But what's even more interesting, and it really underscores the government's emphasis on this, is their ambitious target.
Oh, here we go.
To reach $300 billion.
Okay.
By the fiscal year 2025-26.
That's a big jump.
Not a big jump, yeah.
Okay, so $300 billion by 2025-26. That is ambitious, to say the least.
That's ambitious, yeah.
What are the key drivers that the government's really looking at, that they're thinking are going to sort of propel us towards that kind of growth in such a short time frame?
Well, there's a few things at play. Growing domestic demand.
Yeah. Obviously, increasing exports, that's a big one, and the supportive policy environment that we're talking about.
Okay.
But it's not just, a hope and a dream.
Right.
We're seeing some real progress.
Okay.
In fiscal year 2023-24, exports of electronic goods saw a really remarkable 23.6% increase.
Wow.
Reaching $29.12 billion.
Okay.
So that really shows the potential of the sector.
Okay, so it's not like this policy is coming out of nowhere.
Right.
There has been work done to kind of...
Oh, yeah, there's definitely groundwork.
Pause for this, okay.
The government's been really strategic about this. They've launched a number of initiatives.
Okay.
Key programs under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, or MITI.
Okay.
Are already, in action. So, for example, there's the SPECS program.
Okay.
Now, SPECS, that's the scheme for promotion of manufacturing of electronic components and semiconductors.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful, yeah. And that one, think of that as a way to make it more attractive for companies to actually make these components and semiconductors here, because they offer financial incentives.
Got it.
On their capital expenditure.
So kind of like, incentivizing the upfront investment.
Exactly, to make it more appealing.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Modified Electronics Manufacturing Clusters Scheme.
Okay.
That's EMC 2.0.
Okay.
And that focuses on the actual infrastructure.
Okay.
Things like dedicated industrial parks with reliable power.
Okay.
And logistics.
So those things are in place to kind of support this large-scale manufacturing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So SPECS is making the investment more appealing, and EMC 2.0 is creating the physical spaces where these things can actually happen.
I see. So there's both the financial incentive and the physical infrastructure in place to support.
Yeah, it's a two-pronged approach.
Yeah, okay.
And these are all supported by, kind of the larger vision of the National Policy on Electronics 2019.
Okay.
As well as those flagship initiatives like Make in India and Digital India.
Okay.
These kind of provide that broader framework, right, for boosting domestic production,
Okay.
Creating those employment opportunities.
Okay.
And really driving that technological progress within the sector.
Right.
And then, of course, there's also investments in research and development. And the establishment of these, manufacturing clusters that are all kind of contributing to this expansion.
So it sounds like, this is part of a really multifaceted strategy.
It's a holistic approach, really.
Yeah, to really develop
and not just throwing money at it.
Sector.
They're trying to build the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, okay. So there's momentum, there's there are programs in place.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's dive specifically into this.
Let's get down to brass tacks.
Into this new policy.
Yeah.
What's the headline financial commitment?
Okay, well, the big number, the eye catcher.
Yeah.
22,919 crore rupees.
Okay.
That's spread out over the next 6 years.
Okay.
And the main goal is super clear.
Yeah.
Give a serious boost to electronic components manufacturing.
Okay.
And more importantly, really deepen that level of domestic value addition.
Now, break that down for me. What does domestic value addition really mean?
Okay, so right now,
it's context.
in the whole electronics sector, only about 15–20%
Okay.
of the value is actually added in India.
Okay.
This new policy is trying to get that up to 30–40%.
So that's a significant shift, right?
Oh, it's a big jump.
From just, doing the final assembly.
Yeah.
To actually
making stuff.
More of the process is happening here.
Okay, so what are the specific components that the scheme is? Yeah, so we're talking about crucial stuff like display modules.
Okay.
The screens you see on your phone, your laptop, camera subassemblies, the things that make your phone's camera work.
Right.
Punted circuit board assemblies, or PCBs. That's the green board that everything's attached to inside your electronics.
Yeah.
Lithium cell enclosures for batteries.
Okay.
And then a whole bunch of those little passive components.
Okay.
Like resistors, capacitors, ferrits.
So this is it's not just sort of
brainer stuff.
Yeah, like little bits and bobs.
This is the heart of it.
These are the core building blocks
Foundational, yeah.
of the entire electronics industry.
Exactly.
Okay, and this is also going to have a significant impact. It's projected to have a significant impact on
jobs.
On jobs, yeah.
Yeah, they're projecting to create about 91,600 direct jobs.
Okay.
Over the 6 years of this policy.
Okay, that's a pretty significant contribution.
Oh yeah, it's not nothing.
Yeah.
And the annual incentive payouts are, it's projected to be somewhere between 2,300 crore and 4,200 crore rupees.
Okay, now those payouts are conditional, right?
Absolutely. This isn't just free money.
Yeah.
Companies have to hit certain targets.
Okay.
For investment, for production output, for job creation.
So it's kind of like a performance-based.
It's performance-linked.
Performance-linked, yeah.
Got to deliver.
Incentive, yeah.
To get the goodies.
Okay. Now, what are the different types of incentives that the government is offering here?
Okay, so there's a three-pronged approach.
Okay.
First, you got the operational incentives.
Okay.
And those are calculated based on the net increase in sales of the components that they're manufacturing.
Okay.
So you sell more, you get more.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Right, right.
And that model is actually similar to the PLI scheme.
PLI, yeah.
The production-linked incentive.
Yeah, that's been successful in other sectors.
Yeah, they've used that in a few different areas, and it's proven to be pretty effective.
Okay.
Then you've got the capital expenditure incentives, or CapEx incentives.
Yeah.
And those are based on the capital investments the company makes.
Okay.
So if they're putting money into building a new factory, buying equipment,
upgrading facilities,
upgrading stuff, they can get support.
Okay.
And then finally, there's the hybrid model.
Okay.
And that's kind of a blend.
Mix and match.
Yeah, it misses the operational and the CapEx incentives together.
So it's sort of like, there are different ways.
There's flexibility.
Yeah, to kind of tap into this.
So if you're a company that's really focused on scaling up production, go for the operational incentives. If you're more about the big upfront investment, you can lean on those CapEx incentives.
It's a pretty well-designed system, I think.
Yeah, it seems pretty well thought out.
Yeah.
They're covering all the bases.
Now, in terms of the types of manufacturing projects that are eligible for this, are we talking about only brand new factories, or are we talking about...
No, it's pretty inclusive, actually. Greenfield projects, which are the brand new ventures, those are in, but also brownfield projects, which is where you expand or modernize existing facilities.
So companies that are already here, they can sort of...
They can take advantage of this, too.
Okay, so that's a good way to sort of leverage...
Leverage what we already have.
Yeah, exactly.
And encourage new stuff.
Yeah. Okay, now what about foreign companies? Are they allowed to participate?
Oh, yeah, they're encouraging it.
Okay.
They want foreign companies to get involved.
Okay.
Either by transferring their technology to Indian companies, which is great for building up domestic skills, or by doing joint ventures with domestic firms.
Okay.
So it's all about collaboration and knowledge exchange.
So it's not just about, like, boosting production.
No, it's about building the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
Bringing in new ideas and technology.
Yeah, okay, so let's step back for a second.
Big picture.
Big picture.
Yeah.
Why this emphasis on manufacturing these components at this particular time?
Yeah.
Like, what's the the big picture?
The underlying imperative.
Yeah, what's the urgency?
Okay, well, the numbers paint a pretty clear picture.
Okay.
There's a big demand-supply gap in India for these components.
Okay.
Right now, it's estimated at about $100 billion.
Okay.
And when you factor in India's potential as an exporter of electronics, that gap explodes to $140 billion.
That's a lot of money that's being left on the table.
It's a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
And right now, we're not grabbing it.
Yeah.
And for you, the listener, this means that the prices of electronics, the availability of electronics, it's all influenced by what happens in other countries.
Yeah.
We don't have much control.
Yeah. Okay. So we're consuming way more than we're producing.
Exactly. India's current capacity to produce these components is only about $10.75 billion.
Okay.
That's barely 10% of our total electronics production.
Wow. So we're heavily reliant on other nations.
And that's not ideal, right?
No.
It makes us vulnerable.
Yeah. Okay. So what are the obstacles that have historically prevented India from developing this sector?
Well, there's a few key challenges. One is the lack of scale.
Okay.
We just don't have the large-scale manufacturing facilities to meet the demand.
Okay.
Another issue is the investment to turnover ratio.
Okay.
In component manufacturing, that ratio is not great.
Explain that.
So, for example, with smartphones, 1 rupee invested might generate 20 rupees in turnover.
Okay.
But for components, that 1 rupee might only generate 2 to 4 rupees.
So the return on investment is much lower.
Exactly. So it's harder to attract investment.
And that's why we've seen a lot of investment in assembly.
Right.
But not so much.
In the actual making of the component.
Okay. And that high import dependence, that must be...
Oh, yeah. That's a major concern.
From a strategic point of view.
Yeah. It makes us vulnerable.
Yeah.
Electronics imports are 75% of India's total electronics production.
Wow.
That's the second largest import category after crude oil.
So we're really, really dependent.
It's a strategic weakness.
Okay. Now, looking forward, what are the projections for component demand?
Okay. Well, by fiscal year 2028-29,
Okay.
India is projected to need a whopping $160 billion
Okay.
worth of electronic components.
Okay.
And those imports, they're just going up.
Yeah.
They went from $29 billion in fiscal year 2021
Okay.
to $46.5 billion in fiscal year 2023.
So it's a rapidly growing problem.
Yeah, the demand's growing faster than our capacity.
Okay. And what's the solution?
Well, to meet that demand,
Yeah.
to reduce our dependence, yeah,
Domestic production, including exports,
Okay.
needs to grow at a compound annual growth rate, or a CAGR,
KGR.
of over 53%.
That's huge.
Yeah. It's ambitious, to say the least.
53%.
That's how much we need to grow.
Okay, so in wrapping up, what are the key strategic takeaways from this policy?
Okay. Well, I think it's clear that this 22,919 crore rupee incentive scheme is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a really important step.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is its potential to reduce our dependence on imports.
Yeah.
That's crucial for our economy and for our security.
Yeah.
But it's also about building up our own manufacturing capabilities.
Right.
Creating a strong ecosystem here in India.
Right.
So we're not just assembling, we're making.
Right.
And ultimately, it's about integrating India into the global supply chain.
Yeah.
Not just as a market, but as a major player.
Manufacturer.
Yeah, manufacturer.
Yeah, and this is part of a bigger set of objectives, right?
Oh, absolutely.
For the government. This is connected to everything. Improving infrastructure,
Okay.
attracting more investment, developing skills.
So it's not just about this one policy.
No, it's about a whole vision for India's future.
Yeah, okay. So to sum up,
Yeah,
this new incentive policy
big one.
is a significant step
Yeah.
towards really deepening that electronics manufacturing ecosystem in India.
Beyond assembly, into the core,
Yeah, yeah.
the heart of it.
Yeah. So for you, the listener,
Yeah.
especially those of you preparing for the UPSC exams,
Yeah, this is a big one.
this is a major development.
Yeah.
Given these targets, given these challenges that we've talked about, what do you think the biggest obstacles
Yeah, what are the hurdles?
are going to be
What are we going to trip over?
in achieving self-sufficiency
Yeah.
in this sector?
And what else do we need to do?
Yeah.
Besides this policy to
Yeah.
really make this happen?
Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
We'd love for you to like and subscribe.
Yeah, hit that button
Hit that button.
and leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, tell us your thoughts.
And don't forget to check out the Indian Express.
Yeah, the original source.
The original source.
Great reporting.
They have a lot more detail in there.
Yeah, dig in.
Yeah, so it's clear that these kinds of policies
Yeah,
are going to continue to be really important
shaping India's future.
in shaping India's future. Absolutely.
Yeah, both economically and technologically.
Yeah,
We're on the move.
we're on the move. Yeah,
It's an exciting time.
it is an exciting time. All right, well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive.
Until next time.
See you then.